Yes, very good morning, all of you. So, before starting today's session, let's discuss what we have discussed yesterday. So, can anyone tell me what we have discussed yesterday? Which topics we have discussed yesterday? Yes, class. Okay, how to define class? What is class? Then I think we have also discussed what is method, how to create or how to call the method of any class. Okay, so some of those things, constructor, destructor. Yes, very good. So those things we have discussed. Okay, and we have taken one simple example of class. So today what we are going to discuss. So today we are going to discuss some more implementation. Okay, let's say if you want to define an empty class. Okay, we will start with very simple, very easy to understand class. Okay, so let's say if you want to define a simple class that doesn't have any method or anything else. Okay, so how we can define an empty class? So that we are going to discuss today. And let me start today's session. Okay, so let us start. How we can define the class? Can anyone tell me which keyword we have to use to define the class?
Class keyword.
Yes, class. Let's say simple class one. Okay, and we will write pass. Okay, means uh, here you can see we are not defining any of the attribute to the class. Okay, it is simple class. Now, why I'm telling you, and before going with this method, let me tell you in other programming language like Java, you have to define attributes and methods. Okay, so it is not like that randomly you just define an empty class and then as per your requirement you can add the attribute or the methods to the class. Okay, here this class means in Python it will allow us to create an empty class. Okay, and then you can add as many attribute, as many variable you want to add to the class. So that you can do. Okay, so in Java or in .NET, okay, means in C Sharp or VB, everywhere you have to specify first. You have to specify the complete template of class, and then you can use. Now here you can see here we have written pass, so it doesn't create any error. Otherwise, what will happen? Whenever there will be colon, after colon, it will search for some new statement of code. So we cannot write the empty class. Okay, so for that we have written. You can say pass. Okay, so pass means there is nothing. So continue, carry on with the execution. So here we have defined an empty class. Now let's try to create the you can say object of this class. Okay, so let's say O1 equals to SC1 and O2 equals to SC2. Okay, O1 is equals to SC1 and O2 is equals to SC2. Object 1 and object 2. Now let's assign some variable to the class. Okay, to the template. Let's say O1 dot V1 is equals to 1. O1 dot V2 equals to hello. O2 dot V3 equals to uh, let's assign the value of 5. O2 dot V4 equals to let's assign boolean value true. Now here you can see neither we have specified V1 nor we have specified V2. Okay, as well as neither we have specified V3 or we have specified V4. So none of these variable we have specified for this. Okay, so Sorry, okay, here it is as well. Yes. Now let's try to use those values. So print O1 dot V1 comma O2 dot V2. Let's say O1 dot V2. We have not any value for so object 2 dot V3 the object 2 dot V4. So here you can see 1 and hello. So 1 is for V1, hello is for V2, 3.14 is for V3, and true is for V4. So as you can see, this is how you can define an empty class, and you can assign the variable to the individual object runtime. Okay, so as per your requirement, let's say you can append that to the you can say definition, your class definition. Now let's do one thing. Let's implement a simple method. Okay, to the class. Okay, we will go step by step. Here, what we will do, let's assume that we will use V1 and V2 everywhere. So here also we will use V1 and V2. So we can use those same in method. Okay, let's say we will define one method init, initialize. Okay, and there we will pass the reference of class self. So here, this method, whenever we will call this method, what it will do, it will initialize the class variable. Okay, so let's say v1 and v2. So we are having two variable v1 and v2, and we want to reset it. Okay, so what we will do, self dot v1 equals to 0 and self dot v2 equals to 0. Okay, so this whenever we will call this function, what it will do, it will initialize the object. Okay, so reinitialize, or you can say it will reset the object. So self dot v1 and self dot v2. Now let's call it. Let's see that how we can use it. Here also we have to make it v1 and v2. v1 dot v1.
तो सेल्फ के बाजू में ऊपर एक्टिवेट में भी V1 और V2
Yes, didn't get. Can you repeat, please?
Sir, Initia should also contain attributes of V1 and V2.
Now, this is the method, and we will assume that whenever we will call this method, okay, it will set these values to 0. Okay, now let's try various approach. First of all, I think it will be more clear to you people. Let's create O3. Let's see what happens. First of all, okay. So this is our output. Now let's do one thing. Let's call this method. Okay, so O1 dot okay initial and O2 dot initial, and after that we will print the value of those objects. Okay, as you can see what it has done, it has you can say set, or it has reset the value of v1 and v2 of individual object to 0 0. Okay, now here let's do one thing. Let's create an object of another object. Object 3 is equals to simple class 1. Okay, and then o3 dot initial. o3 dot v1 o3 dot v4. o3 is equals to sc1 what is the name of the class? SC1. It is not allowing us to create the object of.
Sir, initial
Sir,
spelling.
TINITIAINI. Okay. Yes. So here you can see what will happen if we have not specified any value object. Okay, then what will happen whenever we will call this method? Okay, so if that object doesn't contain any attribute, okay, so in that case what it will do, in that case it will create variable v1 and v2, and then it will assign, or it will initialize it to 0. So this is what you can say a class with a simple method. Okay, and here you can see here we have not specified any attribute in the class. Okay, but still we are going to access it. Now let's move forward. Let's take an example which is very easy to understand. Okay, so let's take class point. Okay, we will try to create a class point. So class point. Okay. Now here what we will do, we will not specify anything, we will not specify any attribute, we will only specify the method. Okay, so the method which we already implemented here, like this. Okay, so that same method we will implement over here. Let's say def reset. Okay, so we will define one method reset, and we will pass the reference of class itself. Self. Okay, so now what we will do into this here, we will reset it. Okay, so mm, like, let's say if you just try to assume a two-dimensional mathematical space, so in that case you can see that if we reset any point, where it will go to 0 0. Okay, so what we will do, we will move that point to 0 0. Okay. So what is meaning of this? We will move that point to a 0 0. Now for that, this is a you can say method. So we have to implement a method also. So let's define move method. Okay, and here we will pass two values, self comma x comma y. Okay, so where we will move, we will move that point to 0 0. So self dot x is equals to x, and self dot y is equals to y. So self dot x is equals to x, and self dot y is equals to y. Now, if you just imagine the class point, okay, now which other method we can implement? Let's say we can implement a method which will calculate the distance between 2 points. Okay, so let's try to implement it. Let's say def calculate distance. Okay, and there we will pass two reference. First reference object itself, and another reference we will let's say pass another point. Okay, now if you want to find the distance between 2 points, okay, then what is the equation for it? Can anyone tell me? What is the equation for calculating the distance between 2 points? Yes, it is very simple equation.
root of root of x minus x1 का whole square
Yes,
plus
yes,
y minus y1 का whole
exactly.
square.
Good. Thank you. So let's say distance equals to we have to import math. Okay, and here what we have to write? We have to write math dot square root. Now here we will find the difference of x and y. Okay, so how we will do it? Self dot x minus 0.2 dot x raised to 2 plus instead of x, we will make it y. So self dot y, okay, and return distance. Okay, so now our class is ready. It is compiled, so it is available. Now let's try to use this class with various examples. Okay, so first of all, what we will do, we will, you can say, uh, create 2 point. Okay, so 2 or 3 point, whatever number of point you want to create. Let's say p1 is equals to point. Okay, and then p2 is equals to. Now, what we will do after creating the subject, we will reset it or we will initialize it. Okay, so for that constructor, so either you can go with constructor or you can go with the method, whatever you want to use, you can use. So p1 dot reset. Okay, similarly p2 dot reset. Okay, as well as let's put one more method that will show us the information of point. Okay, so what is the current position of point into mathematical space? So def, let's say show data, and then we will pass self. Okay, and then from there we will print. Either we can print over here or we can pass both value x and y to the calling function. So let's go with simple way. We will print here only self dot x. X equals to self dot x, comma, y equals to self dot y. Okay. So show data will show us the current position of point. Okay. So okay, and after reset, let's do one thing. Let's show the current position of point 1 and point 2. So how we will do it? P1 dot show data and P2 dot show data. So here you can see we will get both as value 0 0. So once we have created the object, we have initialized. Now let's do one thing. Let's find the distance from, let's say, 2 point. Okay, so for that we have to move 1 point. Okay, so let's move P1. P1 dot move. Okay, let's move it to 5 5. Okay, and then again, okay, so now P1 is 5 5 and P2 is 0 0. So let's try to find out the different distance between these 2 points. Okay, so how we will do it? P1 dot calculate distance with reference to P2. Okay, and let's say we will store it into X, and then we will print. So here you can see this will give us the distance between 2 points. So are you people clear the way we have added behavior to the class? Anybody is having any doubt in the way we have added behavior in the class or whatever content we have covered till now in today's lecture? Anybody is having any issue, any doubt? All of you clear with this? All of you are clear with this? Okay, now if you want to move any other point 2, then also you can move. Okay, and then you can calculate the distance between that. So let's say if you move p2 dot move, okay, then let's say if you are moving it 20 and 100, okay, then if you will try to calculate the distance, then you can see this is the distance between 2 points. So whatever method you want to implement, okay, you can implement using this method or this way in object-oriented programming. So let's move forward. Now let's try to implement the constructor. Okay, so how we can use the constructor? So we will use this same example. Okay, but here we will add the constructor. Now what is the syntax for constructor? Can anyone tell me from yesterday's lecture? Yes, can anyone tell me how we can define the constructor?
So define init.
Yes, very good. So def underscore underscore init underscore underscore. What will be the first thing that we will specify as an argument?
Self.
Self. Okay, and here we are using representing point. Okay, in 2D space. So what we will do? We will specify. Let's say we will pass the two arguments. Self dot x equals to x and self dot y is equals to y. Okay, now here, if you don't, so x1 and y1, so we can avoid the confusion. Now, whenever we have learned function, user-defined function, okay, at that time we have learned some, you can say, default argument. Okay, so that same default argument we can also specify for constructor. Let's say if user is not specifying any argument, okay, user is not passing any value. In that case, you can do one thing. You can specify the default value. So let's say if you want to keep point at 10, 10. Okay. So in that case, what will happen? If you are creating point using this method, okay, means you are not passing anything. In that case, it will initialize it to 10, 10. So let's try to execute it. Let's say P3 is equals to point. Okay, and then P3 dot show data. As you can see that if we are not passing anything, then default argument, whatever we have specified, it will be considered for point. Okay, and if we want to pass, let's say if we want to specify any coordinate, 22, 33, then it will be considered. Okay, so this is same as we have discussed in user-defined function. This will be considered if and only if we are not passing anything. Okay, if we are not passing anything. So let's see what happens if we write none. If we will write none, then none will be passed and it will be assigned. So this is how it can be implemented. So constructor. Okay, so this is known as constructor. Constructor. The purpose of constructor is to initialize the object. Okay, and here if you want to display anything to the user, then also you can mention, like let's say point is created with x equals to self dot x, comma y equals to self dot y. Okay, so if you want to display message to user, then also you can display. The point is created, x is equals to 22 and y is equals to 33. So all of you clear with this? Okay, or in simple terms, let's say if you want to initialize any uh, point to 0, 0, okay, then what we can do, let's say every time if I want to initialize it to 0, 0, then what you will do? Is what we can do in that case, if every time I want to initialize class object to 0, 0, then what we can do? Yes, anyone from class? Yes, that is the constructor, but let's say if I want to initialize it to 0, 0, then in that case what we will do, we will use the already implemented method. Okay, so what is that method? Either we can call the reset method or we can call the move method. Okay, so either we can call the reset method or we can call the move method. Okay, so instead of assigning here, okay, let's say x and y, we can also do like this. Let's say self dot move. Okay, and whatever value we have passed here, x1 and y1. Okay, so that will be passed to that method x1 comma y1. Okay, and then let's see, still it will be same. So this is how it will work. So from constructor, if you want to call the method of a class, then also you can call it. Clear? Now, in past we have discussed docstring. In past we have discussed docstring. So how we can specify the docstring? If you want to specify the description of, let's say, any method, okay, then how we can do it? Anyone from class? I think in past we have discussed how to specify the docstring.
So triple quotes.
Triple quotes. Okay, so let's say this is a constructor is initialize the, okay, let's say we will specify something from move this function or method, let's say is implemented for moving point in uh, this method is implemented for resetting the object. Similarly, yes. Now, main thing, how we can display it, how to access it. Yes, anyone from class? This also we have discussed. Yes. So if I want to know the detail of this, then how we can do it? How we can get it? Yes, anyone from class? This is also we have discussed. So you have to tell me. Let's see if we can. Can you see this? Is it visible to all of you? Okay. So we have not specified some for calculating distance. So this method is used to calculate distance between 2 points. This method is used to show current values of points. Okay, so if you will write like this, then you can see whatever we have mentioned in form of document string. This is a point class which store x and y dimension of a point. Then this is a constructor. This initialize the object. Okay, show data. This method is used to show the current value of point. This method is implemented for resetting the object. Now, most important question: when all this, where we can use all these things? So, whenever you are implementing your own library, and if you want to give insight to the user that how you are going to implement it, okay, then you can specify docstring, and this will be helpful to you at that time. So, all of you clear with this? Anybody is having any doubt in whatever we have covered till now? Anybody is having any issue or any question in whatever we have covered till now? Okay, you can also store this into the file, and then from file you can import as a class. Means you can import class, and then you can access it. So let's try to do this. Let me implement it first so I can show you. uh, and just a second. So for that, you have to implement it into the i.py file, not ipynb file, and then you have to add it to the reference. So anyway, let's carry on our discussion. So I hope anybody is not having any doubt in whatever we have discussed till now. Okay, so let's move forward. Now we will try to define a class which will use this class, whatever we have already implemented in point. Okay, so if you want to represent the 3D point, okay, then how we can do it? So a simple 2D point we have already implemented. Okay, now let's try to use this implementation into another class. Okay, so let's see that how we can do it. Okay, or how we can implement it. So here we will do one thing. Yes, anyone from class can help me into this, that how we can implement this. I think you people had some introductory discussion with object-oriented programming. So how we can do it? Yes, anyone? Let's say point 3D. Okay, and we will use the already implemented class point. Okay, now let's do one thing. We want to implement the all the methods, whatever we have done, whatever we have implemented in point class. So let me tell you that how we can do it. I'm just coming back in a minute. Please stay online. Yes, sorry for interruption. Yes, can anyone tell me that how to use those methods? Let's say constructor we already implemented over here. Okay, so what will be our target? Our target will be, let's say, we will try to avoid the duplicate implementation. Okay, so how we can do it? Can anyone give me any input regarding this? Let's say let's define init self. Now for 3D point we will pass three arguments. Let's say x1, y1 and z1. Okay, so now what we will do? We want to use the you can say uh, init method of point class which we have defined previously. So how we can do it? Anyone from class, please? Okay, now this class point 3D is inheriting all the property of point. Okay, so what we will do, point dot underscore init, we will pass x1 and y1. Okay, and self dot z1 is equals to let's say self dot z is equals to z1. Okay, now let's try to implement the method, let's say show data method. Okay, so that was one thing. We can also use move x. Okay, but I think we have to implement it from scratch. So move self. Okay, now here in move we will again specify three arguments, whatever we have specified over here, self, x, y, and z. Okay, so three argument will be self, x1, y1, z1. Okay, and we will move that point to the particular location. Now here we can also use point dot move method. Okay, where we will pass x1 and y1. Okay, where we will pass x1 and y1. Okay, and whenever we are calling constructor for any of the class, okay, we have to also pass the reference of class itself. So self we will pass here, as well as we will pass here. Point dot move self x1 dot y1 and z1 we will assign to self dot z. Okay, here you can see we have tried to use the previously defined method or the method which we implemented into the previous class. Okay, and def, let's say show data. In that we will pass only self and we will print self dot x x equals to self dot x, self dot y, self dot z, y, and z. Let's try to create a 3D point. Okay, and here by default, let's say if user is not specifying anything, then we will keep it as a 0 0 0. Okay, let's see that how this is working. Point 3D1 equals to, let's say, point 3D. Okay, and point 3D1 dot show data. Okay, so where it is showing error x1 y1 in Z1. Just a minute. Move. Okay, in move at self line number 6. Okay, here it is showing us. What is the error? Move missing one required argument Z1. So self. Okay, so here actually we have implemented. Here we have to write self dot x is equals to x1 and self dot y is equals to y1. So here you can see if we try to execute x y z equals to 0 0 0, then means if we just try to create the object of this point 3D class, it will initialize x1 y1 z1 equals to 0, and here it will call the constructor of x1 and y1. Okay, so here it will call the constructor of class point, and as you can see, uh, this is this message point is created with x is equals to 0 and y is equals to 0. This is from the base class. Okay, so here in this case, point is base class and this is the derived class. This is also known as parent class and this is known as child class. Okay, now purpose of inheritance is to use the already implemented features or the functionalities. Okay, so whatever you implemented in parent class, if you want to inherit all those attribute and behaviors into child class, okay, then you can use the inheritance. Okay, and now whatever class you want to inherit it, that class you have to specify while you are defining the class. Okay, child class. So here we are, here point 3D is a child class and point is the base class. Okay, so here how it will work, here we will pass, we will specify three argument. Out of those three argument, first two argument x1 and y1 will be passed to the base class. Okay, so it will be passed to this class constructor x1 and y1. Okay, so whatever value we have passed over there, it will be used here. Okay, then whatever third argument we have specified, it will be assigned to this 3D class, and then you can see we have implemented the move function. Okay, so in move function you can see what we will do. We will call the move class, move of the base class point dot move. Okay, where we will specify two arguments for x and y. We will use for from base class, and this z we will use for derived class. Now if you look at the implementation, class implementation, then ideally this point 3D class is having only one variable. Okay, that is z, and remaining two variable x and y are belonging to the base class. Okay, they are belonging to the base class. Okay, so uh, similarly, if you want to call the show data function of the base class, then also you can call. So what we have discussed in today's lecture, let me start from first. We have discussed that how to create an empty class, then how to create the object of empty class and how we can assign the multiple attribute to empty class. Then we have implemented the method to the empty class, okay, and how we can call that method, that we have discussed. After that, we have learned that how we can define the constructor, and using constructor how we can call the methods which we have implemented or which are implemented in other class. Okay, and uh, how we can go with the inheritance, means using inheritance how we can uh, use the existing implementation. Meanwhile, we have also discussed that if you want to give the description to the user, then uh, how we can specify the doc string and how we can use it. Okay, so in constructor also we have discussed constructor with default argument or parameterized constructor. So all those things we have discussed. If anybody is having any doubt in whatever content we have covered till now, okay, then they can ask me the question. Otherwise, we will move forward with the attendance. So anybody is having any doubt in whatever the content we have covered till now? Yes, anyone is having any doubt in whatever content we have covered till now? All of you are clear with the content whatever we have covered till now? Yes, am I audible? All of you?